Welcome back to the Future Strong podcast. Today, let's explore something pretty fascinating. This whole cognitive revolution thing. It's really changing how we think and learn and even just live day to day, you know?
Yeah, it's incredible. Technology is evolving so fast.
It really is.
And it's influencing our brains and actions in ways we're only beginning to understand, I think.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to think about all the advances, like analyzing massive amounts of data or personalizing how people learn.
Right.
Has huge implications, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But in the middle of all of this progress, I think it's important to remember what makes us human. Our emotional intelligence and empathy, the things that make us resilient. Machines are sophisticated, sure, but they haven't quite figured those things out yet, have they?
That's such a crucial point. As we become more intertwined with technology, the question is, are we unintentionally trading off some of these essential human skills?
It's a valid concern. Think about smartphones. They're undeniably useful, but also incredibly distracting.
Oh, for sure.
We're constantly bombarded with notifications and updates, and the pull to check in on everything is so strong.
It's true, and all those notifications and the constant flow of information, it can really wear down our ability to focus. It's not just anecdotal either. There's actual science behind it.
Absolutely. Research shows that every time we switch between tasks, it takes a full 21 minutes for our brains to truly refocus.
Yeah.
That's a real cost in terms of our cognitive energy.
It is.
I bet a lot of us have felt that mental drain after juggling multiple screens or notifications,
It's incredibly common these days in our hyper-connected world.
Sure.
But the good news is we can take back control of our focus. We can manage technology more effectively.
I hope so.
It starts with being more mindful of where our attention goes.
Right. It's about recognizing that technology can create this illusion of control, when in reality, it often controls us. We can be more intentional about designing our workspaces, to minimize distractions.
Yeah.
And just being more aware of how we're using technology.
I think this becomes even more crucial when we think about the future of work and learning. The job market is shifting, It's no longer enough to just have knowledge. It's about what you do with that knowledge.
Right.
Processing information, analyzing it. Those are the skills that will be in high demand.
So critical thinking, data analysis, the ability to synthesize information. Those are becoming essential skills to cultivate. It makes you think about the steps we can take now to be ready for this changing landscape. We're no longer just learning facts. We're learning how to think.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just our careers, too. It affects how we spend our leisure time.
Oh, for sure.
Is it all about seeking constant entertainment online? Or are we finding activities that engage us on a deeper level, things that contribute to personal growth?
Right, that constant online entertainment. It can be a slippery slope. It's almost like we're living with this underlying sense of risk, always plugged in, but never fully present.
That's a profound observation. It really raises the question. Are we being intentional about what information we're taking in? Are we making choices that encourage us to grow, to connect in meaningful ways? Or are we just letting technology dictate our every move?
I think a good place to start is by simply unplugging more often, rediscovering the joy of activities that don't involve staring at a screen. Remember, books, hobbies, face-to-face conversations. Those things are still out there.
Absolutely. Technology has incredible potential to enrich our lives, but it's our responsibility to use it wisely and make sure it doesn't come at the expense of our well-being. We need to strike a balance.
It's like we're walking a tightrope, trying to find that balance between embracing all that technology has to offer while staying true to ourselves and our values.
It's a delicate balance, but it's a challenge we need to embrace if we want to navigate this cognitive revolution successfully and emerge stronger on the other side.
It's a good reminder that technology at its core is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us to decide how we wield it.
That's a powerful way to put it. It really all comes down to the choices we make, both as individuals and as a society. We need to constantly be asking ourselves, are we using technology to enhance our lives, or are we letting it control us?
Because if we're not careful, we risk becoming slaves to our devices. Imagine a life where we're constantly bombarded with information and stimuli, never having a moment of peace or quiet to think for ourselves.
And in that state of constant distraction, we might lose sight of what truly matters, our relationships, our creativity, our sense of purpose. It's a sobering thought, but one we need to confront.
It is sobering. We can't afford to let technology chip away at what makes us human. We need to consciously protect and nurture our empathy, compassion, and critical thinking skills. Those are the things that will ultimately determine the kind of future we create.
Exactly. Our strength lies not just in our technological capabilities, but in our capacity for connection, empathy, creativity, and love. Those are the qualities that will make us truly future strong.
It's inspiring to think about the power we have to shape the future. It all comes down to the choices we make each day. But it's not just about our individual choices. It's about how we design and develop technology as a whole.
You're right. We need to be asking critical questions about the ethical implications of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence. It's not enough to simply create powerful tools. We need to consider how those tools will impact society, our relationships, our well-being, our very sense of self.
That responsibility falls on all of us, from developers and policymakers to educators and parents. We all have a role to play in ensuring that the cognitive revolution leads to a future that's both technologically advanced and human-centered.
And that means fostering those essential human skills that will be even more valuable in a world increasingly driven by technology. We need to nurture our creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and our ability to connect with each other on a human level.
Those are the skills that will allow us to thrive in a world of constant change and complexity. And those are the skills that will ultimately determine whether we use technology to build a brighter future or succumb to its potential pitfalls.
So as we navigate this cognitive revolution, let's remember that our humanity is our greatest strength. Let's embrace technology wisely, thoughtfully, and with a deep commitment to our shared future.
Let's work together to create a world where technology serves humanity, amplifies our potential, and helps us build a more just, equitable, and fulfilling future for all. That's a powerful vision worth striving for. Thanks for joining us on the FutureSTRONG podcast. We hope this conversation has given you some food for thought as you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of the cognitive revolution.
It's been a pleasure. Remember, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create. And we have the power to create a future that's both technologically advanced and deeply human.
Yeah.
It really is. We have so much potential as humans. And technology can either help us realize that potential or hold us back. It all depends on how we choose to use it.
Exactly. We can't be passive observers in this cognitive revolution. We need to be active participants, shaping the future we want to see. And that starts with understanding both the opportunities and the challenges that technology presents.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to remember that technology isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for a variety of purposes. I mean, we've seen how technology can connect people across vast distances, facilitate incredible breakthroughs in medicine and science, and democratize access to information.
It's true. Think about the medical advancements we've seen in recent years. Personalized medicine, gene editing, telemedicine, these are all made possible by technology. And it's not just medicine either. Education has been transformed by online learning platforms, virtual reality simulations, and personalized learning tools.
It's really incredible to see how technology is breaking down barriers and opening up new possibilities in so many different fields. But at the same time, we need to be aware of the potential downsides. We've already talked about the impact of constant connectivity on our attention spans, but there are other concerns as well.
Like the potential for technology to exacerbate existing inequalities. If access to technology and digital literacy are not evenly distributed, we risk creating a society where some people are empowered by technology, while others are left behind.
That's a crucial point. And there's also the question of privacy and data security. As we generate more and more data about ourselves, we need to be thoughtful about who has access to that data and how it's being used.
There's a lot to consider, isn't it? But I think these are the kinds of conversations we need to be having. We can't just blindly embrace technology without thinking critically about its implications.
I completely agree. And it's not just about having these conversations among ourselves. We need to be involving a wider range of voices in these discussions, including ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, and everyday citizens.
It's about creating a dialogue, a collective understanding of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Because ultimately, the future of technology is up to us. We have the power to shape it, to guide it in a direction that benefits humanity as a whole.
That's a powerful thought. And it reminds me of something I read recently about the concept of technological determinism, the idea that technology drives social change. But I think we have the agency to reject that notion. We can choose to be the masters of our own technological destiny, to use technology as a tool to create the kind of world we want to live in.
It's about reclaiming our power, both individually and collectively. It's about making conscious choices about how we use technology, how we design it, and how we integrate it into our lives.
And I think a big part of that is recognizing that technology is not a substitute for human connection, empathy, and compassion. Those are the things that make life meaningful. And we need to make sure we're not letting technology erode those essential aspects of our humanity.
It's about finding that balance, isn't it? Embracing the incredible potential of technology, while also nurturing our human spirit.
Exactly. It's about using technology to amplify our strengths, not replace them.
So how do we do that? How do we ensure that we're using technology in a way that benefits us, both individually and as a society? What are some concrete steps we can take to navigate this cognitive revolution in a positive direction?
Well, I think a lot of it starts with awareness. We need to be mindful of how we're using technology, how it's affecting us, and how it's shaping the world around us. We need to be critical thinkers, questioning assumptions, and challenging the status quo.
And I think it's also about being intentional with our technology use. Are we using technology to connect with others in meaningful ways? Are we using it to learn and grow? Or are we just letting it distract us and consume our time?
It's about setting boundaries and creating healthy habits, making sure we're not always plugged in, that we're taking time to unplug and disconnect. And it's about remembering that technology is just one part of our lives. It's not the whole story. We need to make sure we're nurturing our relationships, pursuing our passions, and engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment offline.
It sounds like it all comes down to balance, doesn't it? Finding that sweet spot where we're harnessing the power of technology without letting it overwhelm us or diminish our humanity.
It is about balance, and it's about recognizing that this is an ongoing journey, not a destination. The technological landscape is constantly evolving, and we need to be adaptable, flexible, and willing to learn and grow along the way.
It's almost like we're surfing a wave.
Yeah.
This wave of technological innovation. We need to be skilled surfers, able to ride the wave without getting wiped out.
That's a great analogy. And like any good surfer, we need to be paying attention to the conditions, adjusting our approach as needed, and always remembering that the ocean is a powerful force that deserves our respect.
So as we navigate this cognitive revolution, it's important to remember that we're not alone. We're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out how to live well and thrive in this rapidly changing world.
And the more we can share our experiences, our insights, and our struggles, the better equipped we'll be to navigate these challenges and create a future that works for everyone.
It's about building a sense of community, of shared purpose. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our individual actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
And it's about believing that despite the challenges we face, we have the power to create a future that is both technologically advanced and deeply human. A future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
It's an inspiring vision, and one that I think we can all strive for. It really is inspiring to think about that potential, that we can create a future where technology works for us, not against us. But I keep coming back to this idea of balance. How do we find that balance between embracing innovation and preserving those essential human qualities?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think it starts with recognizing that technology is not a panacea. It's not going to solve all of our problems. In fact, it often creates new problems that we need to grapple with.
Right, like we were talking about earlier, the potential for technology to widen existing inequalities, to erode our privacy, to even manipulate our thoughts and behaviors. These are serious issues that we need to address head on.
Yeah, we can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend these problems don't exist. We need to be proactive, engaged citizens, demanding accountability from those who are developing and deploying these technologies.
It's about using our voices and our votes to shape the future of technology, to make sure it aligns with our values, our ethics, and our vision for a better world.
And it's not just about top-down regulation either. It's about fostering a culture of responsible innovation, where developers and designers are thinking critically about the social and ethical implications of their work.
It's about asking tough questions, like just because we can build something, does that mean we should? And how can we ensure that this technology is used for good, not for harm?
Exactly. And I think it's also about recognizing that we as individuals have a responsibility to use technology wisely and ethically. We need to be mindful of how we're using it, how it's affecting us, and how it's shaping the world around us.
It's about making conscious choices, setting boundaries, and not letting technology consume our lives. It's about remembering that there's more to life than being constantly plugged in.
Absolutely. We need to cultivate those parts of ourselves that technology can't replicate. Our creativity, our empathy, our compassion, our sense of wonder, those are the things that make us uniquely human. And we need to nurture those qualities if we want to thrive in this tech-driven world.
It's about finding that balance, that sweet spot where technology enhances our lives without diminishing our humanity. It's about remembering that technology is a tool, and it's up to us to decide how we use it.
Well said. As we navigate this cognitive revolution, I think it's important to remember that we're not alone. We're all in this together, trying to figure out how to live well and thrive in this rapidly changing world.
We can learn from each other, support each other, and work together to create a future that's both technologically advanced and deeply human.
A future where we use technology to solve problems, connect with each other, and build a more just and equitable world for everyone.
That's a future worth striving for. Thanks for joining us today on the Future Strong podcast. We hope this conversation has given you some food for thought as you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of the cognitive revolution.
It's been a pleasure. Remember, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create. And we have the power to create a future that's both technologically advanced and deeply human.